Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Jennifer and I am just making this video really just to practice with this Medicine Woman tarot deck that I have. So this reading will be for all signs, and I'm going to actually go ahead and shuffle right in front of you guys. I'm just going to pull 3 cards, and this is just going to be a short and sweet little reading for the next 7 days as a general reading for anybody that watches this. So for the next 7 days, which is basically the 27th to about January 3rd, and what messages would like to come through for us. And I'll also pull an oracle card as well. So what messages what can we expect to be coming through for the next week, just as a general reading for any viewers out there? Alright, so we have the 3 of Bowls, which is the 3 of Cups, and I'm practicing with this, so I'm actually going to be reading from the book. The Ace of Bowls and the 6 of Bowls, and this has been a used deck. This is not my first time using this deck, so we just happened to get 3 cup cards. So you have the 3 of Bowls, the Ace of Bowls, and the 6 of Bowls. And this is definitely different from the Rider-Waite Tarot because the messages are a lot more about healing and spiritual journey. So this is sort of like a spiritual reading and healing reading for the next week. So let's see. Ace of Bowls. I'm sorry, we have to do 3 of Bowls first. Spiritual kinship. Okay. Whenever others are gathered around me, I will celebrate our lives. In groups, in front of others, is never the time to criticize another, but to praise them. In this way, all are lifted up. As we share that which we like and appreciate about each other, our bowls are filled with heavenly grace. Let us be thankful together for all that we have been given as human beings on earth in this time. Let us share our bounty, let us share our blessings. Only through sharing does abundance come. And I have actually said that before, abundance is in sharing. So, the lesson. Can you attend to the needs of the group as a whole? This is the question asked by this card. Love is something to be shared. Kin or spiritual family are those people whose souls you have seen. They are not simply social contacts, business acquaintances, nor necessarily people with common interests. Instead, they are people in whom you have recognized the invisible qualities of God. They have touched you emotionally and you feel grateful. Now is the time to let them know how much you appreciate them. What could you do for a friend today that would let him or her know you have seen him or her high self, his or her high self? The waters of consciousness unite with the family of man, woman, and all creation. What flows from you will in the great circle of life eventually flow to you as well. Sound out your love to someone near. Love will return to you from afar. So basically this card talks about sharing as the actually what abundance is in sharing. And yes, it's about sharing love, but also sharing like what we have with each other. We have like this fish in his bowl there, and there's they have fruit, there's a pineapple, so it's really about sharing and not being like stingy about that, and knowing that you should definitely be aware of who you share with, because unfortunately, while this deck does talk about, human beings as one human family, unfortunately, there's a lot of low consciousness aspects in the world still. And I have found in my own personal life that love will certainly be taken advantage of. And that's how I feel like, we are so far from this ideal of sharing as abundance that it really makes me sad. But people don't care if I cry or get upset about stuff. So, feelings don't matter much in this world either. And it's unfortunate that that's the kind of world that we live in. And I don't know, how much this reading can really help. But I mean, I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer, but, I can spread these messages till I'm blue in the face. If people are going to remain unkind, they're going to remain unkind. But I'm sorry for being such a downer. So, Ace of Bowls. Offering of love. In our hearts we are peace. Within us dwells the spirit which brings joy to all who seek the highest good. So that's really, it's really about those who do seek the highest good, and understanding, I think, first of all, what the highest good is. The highest good is for all beings that live here. Not just one group of people or, one patch of land. It's really a matter of, for all. It is the best for ourselves and others. The divine perfection is already within our beings. The hand of inner helpers is always ready to reach out and lift us up. We must, however, ask for this help. We must pause to find that peaceful place within. There does the divine idea dwell. If we reach out, offering love to others, our spiritual gifts are pulled up from within us and reach our consciousness. As we give, the inner waters flow and guide us to harmony. The nectar of infinite love is already in our hearts. From this I drink deeply now. Lesson. Inside you there is a giver of love. You may think of this giver as higher than you, other than you, more godly, pure, an essence of spirit, but you can only find him or her through yourself. You must go inside, dwell in your inner space, in order to make contact. Inner and outer are simply convenient thought constructs that order our world a certain way. It does not matter which way you perceive yourself to be going. God is in every direction. Ace of Bowls asks you to recognize your ability to be in touch with the giver of love and recognize that you are an extension of that one. What you offer anyone or any situation is a gift from that giver if you are dwelling in that place of love inside of yourself. Recognize that you have something to offer. Accept your inner gifts, your intentions of love, and your desire to love. Now is the time to contemplate kindness, attention, acceptance, emotional comfort, and sustenance. These are all forms of love with no strings attached. In order to give freely and without expectation, you must find the source of constant replenishment inside yourself. If you cannot easily find that giver, make one up. Your imagination is the bridge you build so that higher being can get to you. Do not be afraid to build a good one. Remember, God, Goddess, and guides are formless beings. You give them the form in which they can appear to you. It is easier for us humans, especially Western minds, to form personally fulfilling relationships with someone we can see. So don't be afraid to allow infinite love to take form according to your desires. After all, that is what you are trying to do when you look for a true friend or love partner. You are asking the giver of love to embody before you as a person to whom you can relate. Embody the giver of love within you first, and the outer world will supply all you need. And last we have the Six of Bowls. So let me just show you this. Ace of Bowls. Okay. And then we have the Six of Bowls. So that's the Three of Cups, the Ace of Cups, and the Six of Cups. So similar to Rider-Waite, this is about the past. Appreciate days gone by. I have given my gift of love, and it has been gratefully received by another. In the waters of life, we rest our desires and allow ourselves to be moved by a greater force. It is in this time of looking back that we realize life is perfect and that we are prepared to meet whatever will come our way. Endless streams of emotion flow between myself and the beloved you placed within my reach. We are consciously united in the great pleasure that is but a taste of the wonder of God. Great Spirit, I give thanks for this universe full of treasures that you give to me through all in my love's care. With each person whom I love and with whom I share my inner being, I come to know yet another part of your great glory. You may be feeling a little nostalgia, longing for days gone by, loves experienced and lost, but nothing is truly lost. The lessons of that love live on. Be thankful. Life has given you some exquisite moments. Remember them and honor them. They have been your teachers. It might be time to reconnect with an old lover, a childhood sweetheart, a friend far away. Relive your dreams and let learning occur. It may be time to forgive, to make amends. Sights, sounds, tastes, smells, images will remind you of long ago. Pay attention to them now. In some way, symbolically or ritually, honor what has been. This encapsulates it for you and stores it in your mind and body as a good medicine power. Digest that whole period of your life or that whole relationship of your past into one powerful symbol, song, poem, or dance, or project it into a stone, a painting, a photo collage, a woven cloth, or any other cherished object. Your life will become your art by so doing, and your art will become your life. Romance comes when the past is completed. To the extent that the past is left unfinished, unappreciated, unforgiven, your next partner will be plagued by your illusions and fears. A kind goodbye to what once was cleanses the cup to be filled with fresh love once again. So I think that's a really nice message for going into the new year. And, you know, it's kind of like sad to me because in a lot of ways I feel this way personally, and I don't know if others might feel this way as too, so I'm just going to talk about my own personal experience. But it's like, you know, the Three of Bowls here is talking about spiritual kinship, which is like your soul family and like maybe like friends and like or coworkers or your actual family. And then like there's the Ace of Cups in that middle position there, and then there's the card about letting the past be the past. And it to me, honestly, sadly, it feels like love is like all but dead in this world. It does feel like that, like a real, true, like truthful kind of love that is like real, that isn't selfish, you know, because love is about sharing. And I know that I'm not saying I'm a perfect person, because I'm not. Nobody's perfect. But I am somebody that is a giver. And I know there are a lot of givers out in the world. And I know that us givers who are, you know, kind-hearted, and we really do our best to, not to please others, but to be there for them, because we're considerate of others, and we are nurturers and caretakers, and constantly taken advantage of. And it really feels like love is like all but dying in this world. And I'm sorry to say that, but you know, maybe this new year will prove to have some other message. I'm sorry to be so negative. So I'm going to just pull three of these Nature Speak Oracle cards to go with these three cards and see what messages we get. This is the Nature Speak Oracle by Ted Andrews. What messages do you have for us for general reading for all signs for the next week from today through January 3rd? what messages are here for us through January 3rd. What can you add to this reading for us? What messages do you have for us from now until January 3rd? Now through January 3rd. And also, I just want to say that, like, I think people are so focused on, like, competition and, like, making money that, like, the idea of love has been, like, just trampled on. It just gets trampled all over in this world, and that's the sad truth. So we're going to go ahead and just pick these 3 cards. And they go right along. So we have to go with the 3 of Bowls, which is again called the Spiritual Kinship card. We have Stretch and Explore. And then the Ace of Bowls, we have under that Life, Death, and Rebirth. And then underneath the 6 of Bowls, which is about letting go of the past, we have Heal the Past. So going to read from this little book. Oh, and if you don't like my reading, you know, this is really just for me to get some practice with these medicine cards, and if you like to hear this message, you might be able to get something from it. So let's see. Ivy. Ivy is often a climbing or trailing plant, and these types of plants are always reminders to stretch ourselves. It is easy to become complacent, but change is a constant in life. Ivy reminds us to stretch and explore, and if we don't take it upon ourselves, the universe will help the process along, choosing the changes for us. New opportunities are appearing. Test them out, explore new realms, use the past as a foundation, but be open to the new as well. In this way, your success will continue to grow. So, you know, maybe with this card here talking about spiritual kinship and sharing, it's about, you know, stretch and explore and try to, even if it's just like expand your mind a little bit. I mean, there is something called a sharing economy, which is literally about a world in which we share. And really that's the most evolved way of living that humanity could move into. And you know, is it too much of a stretch to think that we're going to start living like that soon? It might be. But even to just, like, stretch people's minds and, like, their ideas about the world they live in, seems like that's too much to ask of people these days, too. And again, I'm sorry for being negative, but I've been through a lot in the last 6 years, so, of learning about humanity and where we're at as a species. So then we have Ace of Bowls, Ocean, which that's an interesting, that goes along really perfectly with that Ace of Cups there. And it's interesting that it's called Life, Death, and Rebirth. So Ocean, page there. Excuse me, sorry. Ocean. The world of the sea is filled with great mystery, power, and magic. Water is the archetypal creative source, and it reflects our most primal creative energies. A new rhythm and flow is unfolding around you. Its great depth and power will bring life, death, and rebirth into most areas of your life. Anything lost during this cycle will flow back to you in a form much more beneficial. A myriad of possibilities are opening to you now on all levels of consciousness and in all areas of your life. explore new depths, and experience a rebirth. So, maybe this is just basically telling us to like be open to whatever it is that's coming. 2018 might just be the year that everybody's been waiting for big crazy things to happen, and they may not be good. There may be a lot of negative things that happen when the big changes start to come, and if they even do come. I mean, I don't know, to be honest with you, like, I don't know, like, how people think that they can just keep, writing more books and just, like, keep doing the same thing. And you don't really see people moving toward, like, this evolved way of living. When really what I see are people who go around calling themselves healers and teachers and this and that, and what they're really good at is getting dressed up and putting makeup on and writing another book after another book, and they're not really taking personal responsibility. They're not really looking at the hardcore truth. They're not really looking at the shadows. If they're so afraid to talk about like the dark stuff that's going on out in the world, then have they really healed their shadows within? I think they're really just kind of glossing over a lot of those things. And that's why we're not seeing real healing in the world. And especially because people put such an emphasis on money and material things. And, do you see people talking about the fact that there's an extinction crisis? Like, do we think that we're going to just use the law of attraction and we're going to wish it away? We have to be realistic about stuff like that. And unfortunately, I don't think that people are, especially people who watch these types of videos, and I'm not saying everybody out there in the world is like that, but I think people want to stay in their comfortable little bubbles, and really it's doing more damage in the world when we do that. And, it's hard for people who speak the truth because, you try to come from a place of, like, caring and consideration and, like, bringing forward, like, things that people should know, and then you just get ignored, and then you get angry, and then you spew this anger, and then nobody likes you because you look hateful and angry, and it's just, like, a big cycle of people living in denial and the anger that chases it. So the next card we have that comes under the Six of Bowls, which is the Six of Cups, which talks about the past. Both cards talk about the past. Let me just see what this is again. Forget the names of them as I... It's like... Okay, appreciate days gone by. And offering of love. So it's offering of love with life, death, and rebirth. So, in order for things to change, there has to be, the destruction of old ways of thinking and old ways of living and being in order for that real true love to really be manifested in the world. Because a lot of these old ideas and the people who cling to those, whether they be manifested in some way in the society, and I don't want to like pick on like one particular institution or but it's like institution and this like ideas of authority and things like that, and there are people who really cling to this, who cling to these institutions and like their positions where they are and don't want to let go so that real love can flow into the world. And they're really making it difficult for everyone. And so are the people who pretend that everything is fine and don't really seek the truth. So, Birch, heal the past. Let's see what this says. Birch is the Lady of the Woods, a sacred tree in many traditions because of its ability to open doorways into new realms. These new realms open most easily when past restrictions have been healed. New dimensions are opening for you, and as they do, greater balance in your actions and thoughts becomes more necessary and important. True new beginnings require a cleansing of the past, and there are manifesting opportunities to clear out old ideas and to heal issues of the past, which will prevent you from stepping into new realms. Face them, heal them, then step through them. Or step through. So I think that's, these readings can apply to you in a personal sense as well. I'm not sure if you really can heal the past. I think we can heal the present, and perhaps we can choose to look at the past differently and heal ourselves in the present and try to reconcile what came before so that we can move forward with our lives, which makes perfect sense. And I'm sure that nobody really is going to watch this till the end anyway, but I'm going to pull one more card, which is Art Through the Eyes of the Soul Oracle. What card would like to come through for us for this reading for the next week? A general reading for all signs. And this is the one that wants to come through. And there it is again. Okay. So we have regeneration, death, and rebirth. One life cycle ends and another begins. Flow with the cosmic rhythms to become the master of your own fate. We all go through a period of dissolution and breaking down. What we don't often realize at the time is that this is necessary to move forward, break a cycle, and move into the next phase of our lives, which may be full of even greater opportunities than we can imagine from the current vantage point. Instead of going against the tide, pull into shore for a while to contemplate. Keep your eyes wide open and be ready to leap. The goddess gives gifts as well as taking them away. The butterflies represent the soul. There's butterflies flying all around her. I don't know if you could see them there. They're sort of transparent-ish. You could probably see them. So there you have it. I mean, that's a pretty good reading for a new year. So I hope that, 2018 is a healing year for the collective as a whole. I hope that peace does prevail in your hearts and in your minds, and I hope that you do choose to stretch and explore your minds, not just your muscles. Not just your, you're going to go work out so you can look good, so you can pick up guys and girls out when you have to also change and stretch your mind as well. It's a muscle. It's the biggest muscle in your brain. And, you know, understand that things do have to die away in order for the new to come. And it's not really, we can never really truly go back into the past and heal it. But what we can do is reconcile the past by not repeating the same mistakes again. So, again, I wish you a happy new year. May it be healing, and may the goddess prevail. Have a nice day.